global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happening Today YouTube channel. Many Nigerians out there have actually looked at the simplicity of Peter Obi, and some persons felt that he may not have the bite that is required to curtail a lot of things, including corruption, judging the fact that he's quite a simple and a humble man. Well, it looks like Peter Obi has passed the very first test that was thrown at him, even though it was not made public. You're going to find out in a moment what it was, and that Nigerians are super excited that he took the decision he took when he took it. And then again, even within the rank and file of Labour Party, they're sending warning signal to Peter Obi. Ahead of time, peradventure, he gets to sit on Aso Rock. All this we're going to put into one very quickly. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. Click on the red subscribe button beside it. You see bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. Okay, let's start with the test really that Peter Obi successfully passed before it was made public, where the lawmaker representing Kano Central Senatorial District, that's Ibrahim Shekarau, reportedly made moves to be the vice presidential candidate of Labour Party. Well, according to the news, the former governor on the 24th of June traveled to Lagos State to meet with the presidential candidate of the party, Peter Obi. It was gathered that Shekarau offered to be the running mate of the former governor of Anambra State. This is despite Shekarau getting the automatic senatorial ticket of the new Nigerian People's Party after dumping the All Progressive Congress. As in, he got automatic ticket in NNPP, even after he left APC. Okay, it was also learned that Shekarau's move to be Obi's running mate collapsed after the People's Democratic Party made a move to woo the former governor of Kano State to their party. Obi eventually announced Yusuf Baba Ahmed as his running mate in the 2023 presidential election. While there were speculations that Senator Shekarau might dump NNPP for even the PDP self after the presidential candidate of the party, Atiku Abubakar, offered him a mouth-watering position. Sources revealed that Shekarau would announce his defection to the main opposition party in the coming days after meeting with his political advisors. The former governor of Kano State is expected to meet with Atiku before officially announcing his defection. It's in politics. It's a case of permanent interest. So he probably thought that since Kongwaso is unwilling to be the VP vice presidential candidate to Peter Obi, he went behind and said, okay, I'm still a northerner. Okay, I have some crowd to pull. Rather than becoming a senator, I can actually become the vice president. And the person here in question is not really a young person. You can't compare him with Yusuf Dati, his antecedent and all that. But let's find out the warning signals given to Peter Obi over what is going on within the rank and file. The Labour Party House of Representatives in Abeokuta, that's in Osun State, Abeokuta South, Tolulope Phillips, has said the party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, could be impeached if he was elected into office without loyal lawmakers in the National Assembly. Phillips stated that members of the National Assembly possess the power to remove a sitting president, especially if such a president does not have the majority behind him. As a result, the candidate advised that those supporting Obi should ensure they cast their vote for other candidates of the Labour Party to protect the mandate they will be handing to the presidential candidate. I know many of you are all obedient. I know you love our presidential candidate, former Governor Peter Obi. I know you all want to vote for him. But please vote other candidates of the party as well, especially those contesting for the National Assembly. This is because if Peter Obi becomes the president without having the majority in the National Assembly, he could be impeached. They can remove him, so he would need loyal lawmakers in the legislative chamber, Phillips said. The LP candidate, who spoke while addressing residents of Ayeni community in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, advised Nigerians to stay clear of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC and opposition party PDP. He maintained that the two leading political parties are the reason why the nation is in a mess. He regretted that APC and PDP had continued to recycle old politicians who he said drove the nation into a situation that it is right now. The Olabisi Onabanjo University graduate expressed optimism that the Labour Party would take over the affairs of the nation in 2023, urging the citizens to get a voter's card and vote for the Labour Party all through. Well, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of Nigerians have been reacting to it. Let's just generally feel the pulse on Nigerians, and they will look at this. This one here said, nothing is impossible with God. You cannot put fear on us. I must vote for OBIdient. He just made a fact. Check it well. We all are obedient. Well, he said the truth, honestly, because let's look at this just very quickly. If Peter Obi wins, yes, some people said it has happened in Anambra, of course. With APGA, that is not a known party, yes, but it's a national level. APC will feel, if for instance LP wins, Peter Obi wins, APC will feel very angry. How can a ruling party lose it all to a small party, like they will call it, a structureless party that they like they always call it, and lose to them, and you expect that they will not very quickly impeach him? Of course, they could even work hand in hand with PDP. They'll probably have majority of the votes in National Assembly, and voila, they may actually impeach Peter Obi. This whole impeaching not possible in Nigeria may become possible in the days of Peter Obi, if he eventually wins. And what this young man is saying is not far from the truth. He's saying the truth. They could actually work together, okay, to just impeach him, saying that, in fact, the Nigerians that are suffering are crying, forgetting the fact that the suffering began long before, just the effect, and they may, make it possible because they have majority of the vote. And before Obi would even think of coming back through the courts and through the processes, they will just sit on those processes, and Obi may not find himself again in that seat. Even if he would, he to take prayers in a corrupt nation like Nigeria, to take a prayer point to make that happen. So yes, he's saying a lot of fact, but for some of you don't understand where this man is heading from, where he's coming from, where he's heading to. Right now, Nigeria is heavily indebted. Some of our loans are still on moratorium, which means we are still on grace period to repay. So which means by the time the repayment will, come into, they put the repayment schedule in our already over one budget, it's going to have an adverse effect. And when Peter Obi comes in and saying the level of debt, level of indebtedness, and the fact that we may not even have enough for the current expenditure, which may mean that a lot of Nigerians may need to go through a lot of sufferings, quote and unquote, vis-a-vis some of these our income generating ventures may be used to service the loans, and a lot of things. They may remove subsidy, Nigerians, you can imagine Peter Obi coming in and first thing he does, probably removing subsidy. It will look like hell for common Nigerians on the street. And the first thing the common Nigerian or the average Nigerian who does not understand the dynamics of the mess we are in will say, at least in Buhari's time, we did not suffer like this. So they say we should vote for Peter Obi. Look at the suffering we are going through, not knowing that we are now feeling the effect of the borrowing that was done in this dispensation. So it will be so easy to get popular demand from the people, especially those who does not understand the governance and the dynamics of governance. And they may, with the help of so many Nigerians who don't understand this, they may possibly impeach Peter Obi, and probably giving him enough time, okay, to recoup and bring down the economy of the country. So first, it's going to be a lot of suffering before we begin to relax a little. So yes, this LP senatorial candidate is very correct. He needs, yes, he may say I've done it before. This is on a national level. This is not Anambra State. So yes, he needs as much hands as he can get to protect his mandate in a National Assembly. Let's go wrap it up. You may have a contrary opinion. Let's listen to our conversation. What's your take? Have a nice